Wrestling fans, brace yourselves. Because what happened just minutes ago may have changed the future of WWE forever. Sources from within WWE headquarters are sounding the alarm. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the face of the company for nearly a decade, might never return to the ring again. After what went down during SmackDown in a brutal, shocking assault at the hands of Seth Rollins' faction, Roman was not only taken off the show, he was taken to a private medical facility under emergency status. And according to multiple insiders, what we're witnessing isn't just a storyline. It's real. And it might be the tragic downfall of the most dominant champion in modern WWE history. The arena was electric that night. The tension was thick. Roman Reigns had made a surprise return weeks earlier, stepping back into the spotlight after weeks of mysterious silence. Fans erupted as his music hit, not knowing what was about to unfold would leave them stunned and silent. Seth Rollins was in the ring, flanked by his faction. A faction that included not only bitter rivals but men who had once stood beside Roman as allies. As brothers. What started as a verbal confrontation quickly escalated into something darker. Something violent. At first, the crowd thought it was just another war of words between Seth and Roman. The kind of thing we've seen 1,000 times. But what came next wasn't part of the script. Cameras captured it in flashes. A steel chair. A superkick. Roman being dragged out of the ring. Slammed onto the announcer's table. Pummeled against the steel steps. Security was late. Referees tried to intervene but were shoved away. And then came the moment that made millions watching around the world gasp. Roman Reigns wasn't moving. He lay sprawled beside the ring, his face twisted in pain, gasping for air. And in that instant, the mood in the arena shifted. Fans weren't cheering anymore. They were screaming. Some even crying. WWE producers reportedly cut to commercial early. Medical personnel rushed to ringside. And Seth? He just stood there. Smiling. Backstage chaos erupted. According to reports from WWE insiders, officials demanded an immediate blackout of backstage footage. No interviews. No replays. No updates. Roman was taken away on a stretcher, covered in a black towel. Cameras didn't follow. But someone backstage did. A leak surfaced just hours later. A grainy photo. Roman in the locker room, barely conscious. Trainers surrounding him. Blood, not fake, not makeup, streaked along his shoulder and down his ribs. The caption read simply, "It's bad. Really bad." Since then, WWE has gone completely silent. No press release. No social media post. No storyline continuation. Just silence. And now, the whispers have started. Multiple sources, including 2 former WWE staffers and 1 current insider, who asked not to be named, say the word being circulated in hushed tones is career-threatening. One insider stated, "The doctors don't know yet. There's concern about internal damage. It wasn't just a bump or bruise. Roman's body took a real beating out there. He's not recovering anytime soon." But here's the part that chills fans to the core. According to someone very close to Roman's camp, after the medical assessment, Roman reportedly told a member of the WWE creative team, "I don't think I can do this anymore." That line is now echoing across every wrestling forum. Every WWE newsroom. Every locker room whisper. The question being asked isn't just, when will Roman return? It's, will he ever return at all? Because what happened in that ring wasn't just a shocking betrayal. It wasn't just a beatdown. It was symbolic. It was, as one fan wrote online, like watching the final chapter of a legend being written in real time. And the betrayal runs deeper than you think. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns have a history that predates titles and betrayals. These are 2 men who came up together. Who were brothers in the Shield. Who trusted each other when no one else would. So when Seth orchestrated that attack, and reportedly had the full backing of Paul Heyman and even some executives who believed the Bloodline era needs to end, it wasn't just a wrestling angle. It was the dismantling of an icon. Backstage, several wrestlers were said to be outraged. One top superstar reportedly confronted creative over the segment, shouting, "We went too far. This isn't just a rivalry, this is a man's life." Another backstage producer, who's worked closely with Roman for years, was heard saying, "He gave everything to this company. And now we might lose him for good." As of this recording, Roman Reigns is still hospitalized in a private facility. WWE's internal communication channels have issued a gag order. Staff have been told not to discuss Roman's condition publicly. Even family members are reportedly being kept in the dark. But here's what we do know. Roman has cancelled all upcoming appearances, including those tied to non-WWE promotional events. His name has been pulled from internal event schedules. And his merchandise pages on WWE Shop have been temporarily disabled for maintenance. If that doesn't scream damage control, what does? And now fans are demanding answers. #WhereIsRoman and #PrayForRoman have begun trending. WWE social media accounts are being flooded with questions and pleas for updates. One fan tweeted, "He's not just a wrestler. He's a father. A husband. A hero. WWE needs to tell us what's really going on." But there's another camp. One that believes this is the end of a carefully built reign. They point to the signs. Roman's reduced schedule over the last year. His quiet demeanor during recent press events. The visible pain he's shown in backstage footage, sometimes limping after matches. Was Roman trying to hold it all together one last time, and last Friday, it finally broke? As the speculation grows, so does the fear. What if this wasn't just an accident? What if this was a hit? What if Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and their faction planned not just a storyline, but an exit? A way to write Roman out, not for a few weeks, but forever. Could it be that Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, has just been dethroned? Not by choice, but by force. And if that's true, what happens to the WWE without its most dominant figure? Because love him or hate him, Roman Reigns was the anchor. The axis. The man who made the Bloodline era legendary. Now, that axis is gone. And WWE? It's spinning. Out of control. And we're not done. Not even close. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into what really happened between Roman and Seth in the weeks leading up to the attack, the secret conversation overheard by WWE staff, and the chilling voicemail that might explain everything. But for now, just remember this. Roman Reigns may never walk into a WWE ring again. And the world might never be the same. We pick up now with what may be the most important clue to understanding why Roman Reigns was targeted, and why his future in WWE now hangs by a thread. Because what happened in the ring that night was horrifying. But what happened before that, in hushed conversations backstage, in private meetings shielded from public view, might tell the real story. The betrayal wasn't spontaneous. It was premeditated. According to two WWE production staffers who were present backstage in the days leading up to SmackDown, there were signs. Signs that something was coming, something that Roman himself didn't expect. One source, who requested anonymity due to ongoing contracts, revealed the following. There was a closed-door meeting between Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and a few key agents 3 days before SmackDown. Roman wasn't invited. That never happens. Roman always leads creative when his segments are involved. But not this time. It was weird. Ominous. It wasn't just the meeting. Another WWE insider claims that Roman was already feeling paranoid. That he suspected a betrayal. That he approached Triple H the day before SmackDown and allegedly asked, "Are you sure this storyline is safe?" Triple H reportedly reassured him. told him everything was fine. But Roman, according to the source, wasn't convinced. He kept looking over his shoulder. Like he knew something wasn't right. And then came the voicemail. This might be the most chilling detail of all. A leaked internal memo from a WWE producer references a voicemail left on Roman Reigns' phone just hours before SmackDown aired live. No one knows who left it. But here's the message, according to the memo. It ends tonight. You can't protect the island anymore. The era of the tribal chief is over. Roman reportedly played the message for one Bloodline member backstage. That Bloodline member, who has not been named, looked at Roman and said only one thing. They got to him. It's already in motion. At this point, you might be asking, what does that even mean? Who got to whom? But those familiar with the twisted politics behind WWE's biggest factions are already connecting the dots. Because this isn't just about Seth Rollins. This is about Paul Heyman. Heyman has always played both sides of the chessboard. He aligned with Roman during the peak of the Bloodline era. But over the last year, cracks began to show. Seth Rollins, ever the opportunist, saw an opening. He offered Heyman something Roman no longer could, a fresh power structure. According to one backstage source, Heyman didn't just turn on Roman. He dismantled the entire system Roman built, piece by piece, from the inside. That system? The Bloodline. The very foundation of Roman's dominance. Now fractured. And as this betrayal simmered behind the scenes, Roman walked straight into a trap. A scripted face-off on SmackDown turned into a real assault. Not just a wrestling beatdown, but a targeted takedown. Let's talk about the footage you were never meant to see. One fan posted a shaky cell phone video to Twitter just minutes after the live broadcast ended. It was quickly deleted. But not before thousands watched it. And in it, Roman is seen backstage, clutching his side, screaming. He said it was over. He said I was done. Security rushes around him. Officials are shouting. A trainer yells for a stretcher. Roman collapses. That video, unofficially dubbed The Fall of the Tribal Chief, has since been scrubbed from all major platforms. But the damage was done. In the hours that followed, the internet erupted. Wrestling fans from around the world began piecing together the clues. The backstage meeting. The leaked voicemail. The sudden change in Roman's demeanor. The violent ambush. And most importantly, the silence. Because WWE has not addressed Roman's injury. No statement. No medical update. No confirmation. But we now know, based on 2 independent medical insiders, that Roman Reigns suffered at least 2 broken ribs, a mild concussion, and a spinal compression injury during the assault. One doctor stated, "This isn't a storyline injury. This is a real-world trauma. It could take months." And with spinal compression, there's always the question, do you risk coming back at all? And that, right there, is the heart of the crisis. Is this how the reign ends? For nearly 4 years, Roman Reigns ruled WWE. His championship reign shattered records. His matches headlined stadiums. His character, the tribal chief, transcended sports entertainment. He wasn't just a champion. He was the standard. And now, he's missing. As of today, Roman has not appeared in any training facility. He has not communicated publicly. His social media accounts remain inactive. His closest allies, including members of the original Bloodline, have reportedly been told not to comment. But there's one cryptic message that fans can't stop dissecting. Just hours before SmackDown aired, Roman posted, and quickly deleted, a simple Instagram story. Black background. White text. It read, "Loyalty means nothing when betrayal is cheaper." And now, that message reads like prophecy. WWE's internal damage control machine is running at full speed. Production teams are scrambling to rewrite upcoming segments. Rumors suggest creative has been instructed to prepare for a future without Roman. Merchandise has been pulled. Social media managers are told to avoid acknowledgement references in new posts. It's like they're scrubbing him from the present, while praying he returns in the future. But the truth is, nobody knows. Not even Roman himself. A close friend of Roman's, a former tag team partner who asked to remain unnamed, told wrestling media the following. He's hurt. Not just physically. Mentally. He trusted them. He carried this company. And they dropped him. I don't know if he's coming back. And yet, there's a small glimmer. Because if we know anything about Roman Reigns, it's that he never stays down for long. He rose from leukemia. He survived Brock Lesnar. He outlasted every challenger put in front of him. But this? This is different. This isn't just about survival. This is about trust. Legacy. Identity. And in the words of one wrestling analyst, if this is the end, it's the most tragic exit in WWE history. But if it's not, if Roman Reigns rises again, then vengeance is coming. And the ones who struck him down should be terrified. This is no longer a storyline. This is war. And the next chapter is already being written. Everything changed the night Roman Reigns was carried out of SmackDown on a stretcher. But what's unfolding now is something darker. Something deeper than a rivalry. This is a full-blown faction war. And at the center of it isn't just Seth Rollins. It isn't just Paul Heyman. It's the destruction of the Bloodline's legacy, and the rise of a new power in WWE that's prepared to wipe Roman Reigns off the map permanently. According to multiple backstage insiders, a secret alliance has been forming for months, right under Roman's nose. A hybrid faction made up of loyalists to Seth Rollins, former allies of Paul Heyman, and new recruits desperate to rewrite the hierarchy of WWE. It started as whispers. Quiet meetings. Dark corners in the performance center. But now, those whispers have turned into war cries. And in the fallout of the attack on Roman Reigns, it's become impossible to ignore. WWE's internal documents, leaked through a now-suspended Twitter account known only as a Backstage Wire, reveal that as early as April, a new creative direction was approved by upper management. The name of the internal file? Phase out the tribal era. That's right. Someone inside WWE gave the green light to slowly, methodically dismantle everything Roman Reigns built. And many believe Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman were handpicked to lead the charge. But here's the twist. The Anoa'i family found out. And now, they're ready to fight back. Reports coming out of Florida say that several members of Roman's real-life family, including Rikishi, Jacob Fatu, Zilla Fatu, and even Jey Uso, have been in private meetings. Not with WWE Creative, but with each other. One insider close to the family said this. Roman's not alone. You take down one member of this family, the others come for blood. They see this not just as a storyline betrayal, but a real disrespect to their legacy. According to leaked communications, a message was passed backstage after the SmackDown ambush. Not through a promo. Not through a tweet. But through a verbal warning delivered directly to Seth Rollins' locker room by a Bloodline representative. You've started something you can't finish. He's family. You're not. And that's not all. There are now strong rumors that Solo Sikoa, who had seemingly gone silent amid the chaos, may have refused to take part in the planned ambush. WWE staffers have noted that Solo left the building just minutes before the final segment aired. Cameras never caught it. But insiders say he was visibly shaken. One witness reported. He looked disgusted. Like he just watched someone betray his brother. If that's true, Solo Sikoa might be the next man to step into the storm. And whether he's there to rebuild the bloodline or to bury what's left of it remains to be seen. But the tension now isn't just in the ring. It's across every level of WWE. Production staff. Road agents. Veteran superstars. Everyone is divided. There are those who believe Roman Reigns' time is up, that his schedule, his injuries, and his backstage influence made him a liability. And then there are those who say WWE just made the biggest mistake of the decade. Because in their effort to control the future, they may have just awakened a sleeping giant. Sources now suggest that WWE's legal department has been in contact with Roman's representation. Not about a return date, but about creative rights, character protection, and intellectual property connected to the tribal chief persona. Translation? Roman Reigns is considering walking away and taking the entire Bloodline mythology with him. If that happens, WWE would lose not just a superstar, but an empire. Think about it. The merchandise, the catchphrases, the storylines, the legacy. Gone. And that's why this battle is no longer just about bruises and betrayals. It's about control. About ownership of one of the most powerful characters in wrestling history. And the man at the center of it all is still silent. Roman Reigns has issued no statement. No update. No appearance. But we're told he's watching. He's healing. And he's waiting. One close associate revealed this chilling quote from Roman, shared during a private phone call. "Let them build their kingdom. I'll burn it down when I return." The WWE Universe is split. Some are mourning what feels like the end of an era. Others are preparing for what they believe will be the greatest comeback in wrestling history. But one thing is clear. The tribal war has officially begun. And if Roman Reigns does return, it won't be to reclaim a title. It will be to take revenge on every single man who thought they could bury him. Because you don't dethrone a tribal chief. You make him a monster. What if I told you that the most explosive evidence in this entire saga, the moment that could unravel WWE's carefully scripted silence, already exists? That somewhere deep inside WWE's internal servers, is the footage they never wanted you to see. A scene so raw, so emotionally devastating, that multiple insiders claim its release would destroy everything Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and WWE Creative are trying to build. And yet, it nearly leaked. Let's rewind to the night Roman Reigns was attacked. During the commercial break following the ambush, production cameras were still rolling backstage, as they always do for contingency footage. These cameras captured every second of Roman being wheeled out. They captured his pain, his confusion, his whispered words. But they also captured something far more shocking. A confrontation. Sources confirm that just off camera during the broadcast, in a shadowed hallway near the trainer's room, Roman Reigns was met by none other than Paul Heyman. Now remember, Heyman was nowhere to be seen during the attack. He didn't come to the ring. He didn't speak on the mic. But he was backstage. Watching. And when Roman was at his lowest, strapped to a gurney, ribs fractured, blood trickling from his mouth, Heyman approached.